Alright, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Gadcast. As always, I'm your host, Mason, aka Oscar, and today we got an awesome episode that I'm very excited to do. But before we get into it, thank you guys so much for the support on the last episode and for the support on the fact that I didn't post one last week. I hope you guys did enjoy that Apex video I was playing. I know you guys are probably surprised I'm playing Apex now. I'm also getting back into Fortnite too because, it's almost over and the new event just happened with the mecha robot and the monster. It was really cool. So shout outs to Epic. Y'all did awesome with that event. Can't wait for the new season. Will be content when that new season comes out in like a week or two. But yeah, anyways, enough about Fortnite, enough about Apex. This episode is going to be something awesome. I'm very excited. I'm going to be talking about and ranking the top, not top. I'm going to be ranking all of the Spider-Man live action films from worst to best. So I'm going to start from my least favorite all the way to my favorite. Now that a good majority of them exist now, to where I can say them and it won't be as predictable. Because I've noticed now, I've seen like how on Twitter people have like that list of ranking their favorite either MCU films, Spider-Man films, or superhero movies in general. And it got me thinking I wanted to rank them, but I can't rank every single superhero movie or MCU film. That would take way too long. I just bumped my mic. I'm so sorry. I'm hitting my mic a lot. I haven't recorded one of these in a minute. So I hope you guys can forgive me for not recording. But I'm very excited to start this off. And I already know my list. I didn't even write it down. But I'm going to explain why I picked these. So that way you guys aren't sitting here wondering, why does he pick it like that? But then again, my opinion's kind of shared by a lot of people that I know that watch Spider-Man films. But yeah, let's get right into this. My least favorite film, I believe overall there's seven. There's 7 live-action Spider-Man films. So my number 7 spot definitely goes to Amazing Spider-Man 2. That movie was awful. This movie had to try and rush as much character development in there because they forgot to do it in the first film. But even in the first film, there was still some aspects to it that were better. First off the bat, that I don't like about this movie is it focuses too much on the romance between Peter and Gwen. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. She was the best Gwen Stacy they could have given us. She was phenomenal. Andrew Garfield, on the other hand, I like him as Spider-Man. I didn't like him as Peter Parker, and even still, him as Spider-Man was kind of iffy for me. I don't know why some people I know say he's the best. It actually blows my mind to hear that. But it's whatever. People have their opinions. But in this film, it just focuses too much on the romance. It focuses too much on Peter's parents and their death. Number one, who cares? Like, we've never focused on that before. Why does that matter now? And the reason I say who cares is by the end of the film, he does nothing with it. When he finds out what happened to his parents, what they were involved with, he does nothing. He literally goes and finds Gwen and says, "Hey, you're going off to college in England. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to go with you." Like, you just found out everything you wanted to know about your parents and you're just ready to leave. Like, what the hell? That's the worst writing I've ever seen in a while. Like, that's some of the worst writing I've seen in a film, and that's saying something compared to some movies I've seen. It's awful. And just, I was constantly seeing Gwen's father just standing there creepily staring at him to show him the guilt that he didn't keep his promise. Like, dude, it's unnecessary, and this is another example of what happens when you throw too many villains in one movie. It doesn't work. They tried to throw way too many villains in right off the bat. You have Rhino before he's in his suit in the beginning of the film. Then you have Electro, which, by the way, Jamie Foxx killed playing Max Dillon. He played the role of a nobody who's being seen by anybody and someone who's kind of crazy because he's seen for the first time really by Spider-Man, and he's like obsessed with Spider-Man now. He wants to be his best friend. He's completely obsessed with him. Jamie Foxx did a phenomenal job there. And now, where it came to Electro, it wasn't about performance. It was about the writing. The writing was poor for Electro because he hates Spider-Man because a stupid policeman took a shot at him when Spider-Man said nothing would happen to him. That's not his fault. It's just poor writing. It's really awful writing. And I just think that this movie could have done so much better if they had not rushed so many villains and they actually didn't try to rush all the character development because, oops, they forgot to do it in the first film. It's just really poorly written, and it's not good at all. I didn't like the film whatsoever. I don't recommend it, but if you are a fan of the Garfield movies, then more power to you. You respect, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's my number 7. My number 6, I was debating this for a while, and I did have a different answer, but now that I'm thinking about it, I like this one. I like the one, I flipped them. So originally I was going to say Amazing Spider-Man 1 for this, but I recently got a chance to go back and watch the film on demand because it was free on my cable. And, well, now I'd say Spider-Man 3 is worse. Only reason I'd say Spider-Man 3 is worse is because I hate what they did with the black suit. I really hate what they did with the symbiote suit. It was really stupid. It made him emo, and it made him just do a dance number in a club, and all this other stupid crap. Like, all of that, and again, throwing villains into a movie. Like, they threw Harry in the beginning as a villain, then they threw in Sandman, who was actually really good. Thomas Hayden Church was phenomenal in that role. I actually think he did really, really well. And also Venom, who was the worst part of this film, in my opinion. Topher Grace as Venom was not a good choice. And the fact that you barely get to see Venom's face in the first place, no one wants to see Eddie Brock's face in the Venom suit. No one does. Like, it was stupid. No one wants to see that peeled back, like, Eddie Brock face with the Venom suit. It just looks dumb. It really looks stupid and it's pointless. And I really just don't like the way they did the symbiote suit. Venom is way too small. He was way too small. He was too human sized, and that's where I think the Venom movie, solo movie that came out, did really well. It really perfected the physique, is that the word, of Venom. Like, he's huge. He's like twice the size of a normal human, and he's big. He's buff. So like, seeing that version of Venom really made me realize how shitty the Spider-Man 3 Venom was. So that's just my opinion on that. I'm not huge on the idea of Sandman being Uncle Ben's murderer, even though it was an accident. I prefer it wasn't. I prefer it was the other guy and it was more of an on-purpose thing, because then it takes away the whole fact of, I don't know. I just feel like it takes away the whole fact of the responsibility, because then he's just like, oh, well, it was an accident. I get it. He was still murdered, but it wasn't a purposeful murder. It was manslaughter, whatever the term. Again, I'm not good with these terms. Sorry. But I don't know. I just prefer it to be the other dude and it was like on purpose. I feel like that gives Peter more of a purpose to do what he's doing. Whereas he realized the guy behind it really didn't have any vengeful hate or anything and was trying to stop it. Because Peter's whole reason for stopping crime is because someone was willing to kill on purpose. Flint Marko didn't want to kill him. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. So, yeah, Spider-Man 3 is my 6th place only because of the black suit rushing of the symbiote was awful. Trying to throw too many villains in the movie as usual. And just the way Venom looked was awful. It was so awful. And also, again, with the relationship stuff between Peter and MJ, it just felt really weird. I do still love Aunt May in the original trilogy. She is phenomenally acted. I don't remember the actress's name, but she was beautifully done in those films. So shout outs to the Raimi movies for keeping Aunt May really, really well done. My number 5 spot then goes to Amazing Spider-Man 1. Amazing Spider-Man 1 was a new feel. It was kind of a fresh feeling of a new origin story. Had more comedy to it, which I liked. I really liked the comedy of Spider-Man in that film. That's what gives it the 5th place spot and not 6th. The suit was different, and people really hated it. And you know what? I liked it. I didn't hate the suit. I thought it was decent looking. I know it's not comic, all that BS, but I thought it was really nice. I thought it was a new take. I like that it's like homemade still, kind of. He uses like sunglasses, lenses, and all that other cool stuff. I just think it's cool, and I like this is the first time they decided to go with web shooters, which is very nice. Very well done the way that they made them. It was awesome. It was very well done. The villain choice also, very good choice. Freaking Dr. Connors as the Lizard, very, very good first villain choice. I didn't think they were going to go with it, but when I found out they did, I was very excited because it was different. It was something, and again, the Lizard isn't like a huge up there villain who's crazy, and he's not ridiculously powerful. He's just smart, and he's got, he's a human lizard, so he's got some strength to him and abilities, but he's not crazy, and I like that. I like that a lot. So, I believe, I'm trying to think of more stuff I could talk about with this film because there is more to it that I liked. Again, Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone, phenomenal. Flash Thompson, he was shown a lot in this film, and I think he was very well played. He gave the very stereotypical bully very well, very, very well. I enjoyed the actor. He did well. And it was just good. I enjoyed the film. It wasn't awful. And Uncle Ben was good, and Aunt May in this film, in the Amazing Spider-Man films, are pretty good too. I don't think any of the Aunt Mays have been bad at all. I think they've been great. So, because they're different generations. Like, even this Aunt May was, I feel like, a little younger than the one from the Raimi trilogy. And I think she did beautifully. I think she did well as a very concerned aunt for her nephew. And it was very, very good. So, I like what they did. But it doesn't top what the Raimi films did. And nor does it top what what Wait, are there 8 films? I think no, there's 7. Sorry, I just realized. Sorry, but it doesn't also top what the new movies are doing. I think the new movies do well. So that gets on to my number 5 spot, or 4. Jesus, my number 4 spot. This was hard. This was actually hard, but I hate to do this, but I actually have to give it to Homecoming. Spider-Man: Homecoming goes to number 4 because there wasn't. I just didn't like seeing a Spider-Man. I know he's like a kid at this point. It's his first solo film, and he's getting his whole big origin style thing here in a new way. And it was really good. Don't get me wrong. I love this film, but I just don't like the aspect of him always doing the wrong thing. I didn't like that about this film, and I'm tired of seeing a Spider-Man always messing up and all that, and But it does a very good job of showing Peter wanting to not really balance his lives and more just live one of them, and trying to learn that he has to balance those lives. And it's very, very well done. Again, Tom Holland, perfect Spider-Man and perfect Peter Parker. Love what he's doing. Zendaya as Michelle, now MJ. I like her a lot too. I really do love Zendaya. She's one of my favorite actresses. Liz Allen, not really a big fan of her. I mean, she's a cool, interesting first love interest story for Peter, but since she left right after the film, I kind of stopped caring. But that's because, again, they were setting up MJ, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, she was good, though, for what she was in. Flash Thompson, funny dude. I like that they're trying to go for a more modern type of bully and not the big buff kind of, beat up kind of bully. It's very, very well done. I like the modernization of the whole movie. And, again, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., phenomenal as his role. Like, sucks that he's dead now in the universe. I really, really hate to see him go. He was very, very good. And so I think overall this film was very, very good. It was very good. Like at this point, it's getting to the reasons of the films that are good. It's just some were better in the sense of little aspects. So that's that. My number 3 spot definitely goes to Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man 1, the very first Spider-Man of Sam Raimi's trilogy, was beautiful. It was a great origin. The costume's awesome. I love this. This was the first time I had ever seen CG of swinging through the city, and it was perfect. It was so good. And that's also why Homecoming did not make it up atop, because there wasn't any like huge web swinging in the cities. It was very simple, and that's what I think made the Raimi trilogy so badass and awesome. Was the web swinging through the large city that is Manhattan. I think it was awesome. And again, the first villain being Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe, phenomenal villain, phenomenal actor, man. He is insane. I love the stuff he's in. I love Willem Dafoe. I love Tobey Maguire. Kirsten Dunst, she's good too. I'm not huge on her. I don't. She's good as MJ. Don't get me wrong. I'm just, I don't really know how I feel now that I've seen it back again, and like she's good though. Don't get me wrong. If there was anybody, I'm glad it was her though, because she did well. She did well. I'm trying to think if there was any villains or anti-heroes I would have loved to see Black Cat. I know they had kind of set her up in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but yeah. If we were to get another female role, I would like to see Black Cat. Would have been cool. We'll definitely probably get to see her soon, which would be nice. But for an origin story for the Spider-Man thing, sorry I went off topic. Origin story for Spider-Man, phenomenally done. Harry Osborn from James Franco in all the films was phenomenal. I love him as a Harry Osborn, and I just love this film. It's very near and dear to my heart. Mostly because it's, I think, the first superhero movie I ever watched, and it's what got me hooked on Spider-Man. So Sam Raimi, thank you for making a phenomenal Spider-Man trilogy, man. It was very good, except for the last one. But hey, overall they were great. So yeah, my number 2 spot. This is the hardest decision I've had to make in movies. Now, here's my thing, right? There is one thing that puts this movie at number 2, and that's the reason for the big oh my god moments in the plot. Spider-Man 2 is my number 2 pick. The only reason I say that is because, well, okay, let me go back to this. Spider-Man 2 was a phenomenal film. This movie blew my mind. I love what Raimi did. He upped the ante from the first film. The villain was perfect. Freaking Alfred Molina as freaking Doc Ock was awesome. And just, I have no words. This movie was awesome with the origin of Doc Ock, bringing him in, having him have his motives for why he's trying to do what he's doing, and just, it's so well done. But the only problem I have is, why did he lose his powers? It's because he loved someone else and he didn't want to be Spider-Man anymore, so that's how it worked. That's the only thing that got me conflicted with this movie. But it was good though. I do like that he was losing his powers and it gave a cool story. It's just the reason he was losing his powers was really, really weird. But it gave one of the best scenes, I think, of all of the movies, with him and Uncle Ben in the car talking in like a vision slash dream. I actually cried watching that. It was so beautifully done, and the actor who plays Uncle Ben in these films is perfect, man. Rest in peace to the actor. He is effing amazing, man. Love what they did. I love this trilogy so much. It's very near and dear because it's the very first one, but I have to say Far From Home did top it for a few reasons that I'll get into when I talk about it. But for Spider-Man 2, again, the swinging CGI, the villain, the fight scenes, the story, the character development, everything was phenomenal in this film. Just that little bit of, like why he lost his powers was really weird to me. I just, now that I'm watching it again, it's just weird. But the movie still holds up. It still holds up. But now on to number one, of course, Spider-Man Far From Home. As you can see, I got the Papa John's pizza box there that I cleaned and cut because it looks cool. I don't know. But this film, as new as it is, really, really blew my mind. Far From Home really took the cake with the villain. Jake Gyllenhaal is phenomenal as Mysterio. He does such a good job of being manipulative and fake and creating all these illusions and being an actor and lying, and just the manipulation in this film is so good. It's so good how he wins over Peter. He gets the glasses. He's going to completely be seen as the next Iron Man and the best superhero of all time. And when he failed, he made himself seem as a hero, make Spider-Man look like a villain in the end. It's so good, and he tricks the wall crawler perfectly. It's so, so good, and I love him as Mysterio. I love Tom Holland as freaking Spider-Man, and seeing him progress into becoming more responsible as a hero and growing up in the scene where he makes his own suit and looking like Iron Man is so good. And just everything about this film I love. There wasn't a part of this film where I was bored. Everything had great character development. Everything had great funny moments. Everything had awesome fight scenes. And the best scene in the film was the illusion scene where Mysterio's just messing with Peter's head, man. It's so, so good. And I absolutely love it. Phenomenal job to the actor. I don't remember, I mean, not the actor, the director. I don't remember his name, but he has made 2 good films in a row, and I really hope the third one's great. I cannot wait. And seeing as the end credit scene also brought back freaking J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, well freaking done. Well freaking done. I'm so blown away by this film. I loved what they did with the action. And even they had a web swinging moment in the end, like a final swing type moment with him swinging through the big city, and it looked so well. So good. And it was so freaking sweet. And it's just, and it's different. Like even with that web swinging moment, like he was texting and swinging, and he was doing all kinds of cool tricks. It was awesome, man. And again, the friendship between Ned and Peter and the relationship between MJ and Peter, it's so well done, and I just love it. And bringing Nick Fury in to meet Spider-Man was freaking awesome. And this movie set up some awesome things for the future of the MCU. Cannot wait to see what they do. I'm a little disappointed that there's not going to be another MCU film for at least another year at the minimum, which really sucks. There's not another one this year, which really sucks. But oh well. I mean, it's a phenomenal film to go out on. It really is. For Phase 4 or Phase 3 to go out on, I love what they did. It's freaking phenomenal, and I'm so happy. I couldn't have asked for a better Spider-Man film, and I'm really hoping the third one tops this one and makes it up to my number 1 spot, or is a really close second, because these movies are killing it, and Tom Holland is killing it. So I have to say, this movie definitely is the number 1. I love the new suits that they went with in the film as well. It was just so good, but again, most of the thing that got me was Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. He is the best villain we've had, and he's the most conniving, manipulative villain of all, and I love what he did. But yeah, that is all the rankings of the films, guys. I've ranked them all. The only one I really like hate is Amazing Spider-Man 2. I can tolerate Spider-Man 3. And the other ones, I just hate Amazing Spider-Man 2. That movie was awful all around. I'm sorry if you enjoyed that film. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I believe that is all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for the support on these videos. Thank you guys so much for the support on the new gaming stuff that's going to be coming out. I already know you guys are going to, be sweet and caring, and I love all you guys. You guys are the best subscribers ever. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And leave a comment below letting me know your favorite Spider-Man films and whatnot. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a nice day. Goodbye.